Welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. You are listening to a podcast by Pastor Eric Deepen and Pastor Andy Littleton. If you enjoy Faith Over Breakfast, we encourage you to rate it on the Apple Podcast app, on Spotify, or Google Play. Thank you and enjoy the podcast.
Welcome to Faith Over Breakfast. My name is Andy Littleton from Mission Church, sitting across from Eric Deepen from the Village community here in Tucson. And it is our first podcast of 2022.
2022.
Yeah. And so, Eric, tell them what we talked about. It meandered a bit because that's what Faith Over Breakfast is, people. That's what it is. We sit down, we have breakfast, two pastors talk. You get to sit with us.
Yep.
I struggle that we don't always get to the point, but that's not the point.
Right.
You get to sit with us.
Yeah, you got to hear a little bit of grumpy Andy because of his bran muffin or whatever bran flakes he had to eat.
Flakes.
He had to eat his bran flakes, and so he had to kind of get a little bit going there. But yeah, it was fun. We talked about actually taking compliments. We talked about
second half of the show, taking compliments. Very, very good stuff.
Yeah. Talked about our hopes for the future.
Sense of going into the new year. Yeah. That's more the front end of the show. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So you should listen to the show. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we look forward to spending the next year with you.
Hey,
All right.
Andy.
Hey, Eric, you're making a power play on me, I can tell. So,
am I?
Yeah, here's what's going on, listeners. I come into the studio. It's so-called fallow month at the Village.
It's over, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is. And things aren't in here. The chairs are swapped out. You guys do house cleaning on fallow month.
Yeah, and I didn't do any in here. My plan was to do some.
And then here's the most striking thing. If someone were watching, is my chair is a significant 6 to 8 inches lower than Eric's chair. I feel like a child at the table. Eric's towering over me right now, laughing. Ha ha ha! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Yeah.
How was your Christmas?
It was good. Yeah, it was pretty low key for us. We didn't. Yeah, we had a Christmas Eve service. Probably about as simple as yours, honestly. We had owning a store. It's a crazy time of year for a store. So that was a thing. But those things considered, we didn't do anything big or crazy as a family, which was good. We had some downtime.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Didn't go out of state or anything like that.
No, none of that.
Cool.
Yep. How about you?
Pretty much the same. Just really low key. Did things around here.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the holidays.
Yeah.
It wasn't too crazy.
Good.
I didn't have a store.
No, you didn't have a store.
Which, during the holidays.
You do some online sales of board games.
Oh, yeah. We sold a lot of those this year. Tons of board games.
Yeah.
I think the last time I sold a board game was 2018.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago. In fact, I think the production company sent me a note last year saying, "Oh, we've changed our boxes and everything, so we can't sell your game the way it is, so you have to redesign it."
Ugh.
So I had to redesign the box so somebody could buy it.
So you did do that.
I did do that last year, but still didn't really.
Maybe that's the next giveaway. I don't know if I should even say this right now because you may have to cut it out. But, maybe we've given away books, maybe some games. We need to get the sales of we need to get people talking, putting this on their reels.
The reels. The books are a little easier. They come off of a bookshelf and they're free. They just pay for shipping. The games are a little pricey.
You think people don't have to pay for books? I'm talking about my book.
Oh, your book. Oh, right. Yeah.
Not exactly free. I mean, yeah.
No.
But not as much as a game.
No, not as much as a game.
Well, it'll have to be a big ask. We've got to get somebody to do something we really want them to do.
Yeah, maybe we could do that.
Yeah, send us a question and $1,000.
We could do one of those things.
And you get a game.
Right now, there's a matching gift.
Yeah.
if you donate $10, someone will match it.
Okay.
We do have a little tip thing on our podcast, so if you want to tip us, you can.
Oh, hey, there you go. Well, I'm sure everyone listening wants to. They just didn't know they could.
Yeah, and you could tip, I think, like $1
or 1,000
or 1,000.
Wow, so many options.
There are a lot of options.
Oh, look at that. Well,
this is, I know, your favorite part of the podcast.
I want this
you and
to
me
end
bantering
now.
back and forth on a microphone.
Yeah. I'm now beginning to imagine
the listener is
just
tuning
dropping off.
out.
Yeah, they did give us the tip, but they're not going to listen anymore. So we better get to it.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, I don't know what exactly we're getting to. We haven't seen each other in a while. It's a new year. I don't know. What's the conversation? What's new in the new year? Or something?
Well, I said, what did we learn?
What did we learn
after a month apart?
After a month apart.
Did you have any big takeaways this
of the month apart?
December, like
from being apart specifically?
Know, just like, maybe being apart from me, your brain was much more stimulated.
Yeah.
So you felt like,
man, I have been making better choices.
That's good.
Yeah.
Are you a New Year's resolution person?
Okay, no, not really, but I did. Today is day one of a health challenge for me.
Oh.
And I would say that's not necessary. It's because this is when they were starting it. Not because I am a New Year's resolution guy.
Okay.
But, yeah, so it feels a little like that. In December, I started going to a personal trainer because I have this recurring back issue.
Yes.
I went and I got a physical therapy, and they gave me some advice, but I need more than advice. I'm not the guy that's motivated to get up early in the morning, at least not at this point in my life, and do all my exercises, right?
Right.
So I decided,
especially in the winter when you wake up and it's just cold and you're warm under your covers. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been cruising over to gym, meeting with a trainer. The goal is after that, I keep paying to go to the gym and go to classes so that I keep doing this. And then, so since I was doing that, I saw this other, the obvious other thing is the way you eat. And so I saw this thing popped up on, or somebody I follow who I do tend to pay attention to said, hey, I'm doing this health challenge. Here's a discount code. And I had a sneaking suspicion everybody got the discount code, which I think is true. But
yes.
Yeah. But at the same time, I thought, I'm doing the exercise side. I don't have a structure in place for the thinking about food and my relationship to food. That's what this seems to be about. And so, I signed up for the thing. Happens to start today, which is maybe part of why I was late, Eric, is because I had to look at my list of things I could not eat and try very hard to find things in my house that I could eat this morning.
So this means that there'll be no more driving by Salad and Go to get your breakfast burrito.
Well, I actually thought about that this morning. I looked at the Salad and Go menu and I was hopeful, and then I wasn't anymore.
Then you weren't, yeah.
I was like, shoot, this isn't in their definition of health. This isn't going to be my spot. Apparently, I was hoping it would be. It's better than some, but.
Yeah,
anywho,
that tortilla probably throws it off.
Tortilla doesn't help. They don't. They're not into chicken.
Oh, and you're into chicken right now.
No. Salad and Go is very into chicken.
Oh,
this particular group is because of the hormones. They're saying that actually from like a weight loss or health standpoint, chicken is one of the worst.
Yeah,
because of the, I guess, ubiquity of the hormones.
Gotcha.
So anyway. So Salad and Go, being that everything is like $2 over there, probably isn't using, free range chicken.
Probably not. Probably not. All right. So you're like
So I'm not a New Year's resolution guy, but I am resolutely doing something. And I'll tell you what, like you may have heard the term a pain in the butt or an alternate term. I'm also experiencing that because I had to do all these lunges yesterday, and my gluteals are
hurting,
very sore Yeah. So I also didn't sleep extremely well. So
Well, just don't overdo it,
Well, I don't think I am.
Okay.
I think I'm just doing something, and my body's like, "Wow, this is different."
Upset at you.
Yeah, it's thanking me through pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you make New Year's resolutions?
I don't.
Or any? Are you doing anything different in the last month?
I don't tend to make New Year's resolutions.
Why in the world would anyone listen to this? By the way.
Because we're awesome.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. Well, I think people like to hear what's going on in our life. People are relational.
If people who are listening to this, thank you. If you want to send me a 1 hour monologue of what you've been up to, I accept because you're doing this for me.
Wow, you're starting to sound like a cynical Gen Xer. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that what it is?
I'm going to be the positive millennial.
Good. We're changing places. I'm going to be listening to potentially a lot of 1 hour monologues. Did I just promise that?
Yes, you just promised that.
Well, I'll just listen to them while I work
you're
out.
A little grumpy because of your painful gluteal.
Yeah, I'll listen to it while I work out and eat bran flakes.
There you go. We're going to call this Andy is Grumpy. That's the title of this one. So I
and
really,
happy and resolute and sure this is a good decision for his life. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about the podcast. I get excited about it when we don't do it for a while.
I forget it exists when we don't do it for a while.
Yeah, I do not.
Good.
I do not.
Well, I'm glad.
So, yeah, I'm excited talking to you. I like to talk to you. I like to talk about what's, new things in the world. And I'm excited about the impact that our podcast is having and getting to hear a little bit about it, even just from my sister-in-law.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So it's fun to get the emails. It's fun to hear that we're addressing things that people are concerned about and thinking about. So,
did you ever watch Strong Bad Emails, being a Gen Xer?
Strong Bad Emails? No, I did not.
Oh, man. Okay.
So tell me about this.
No, it's the wrong time.
All right. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm just excited about that. I had a relaxing month away from everything.
Yeah.
And felt like I got some things done and have some sense of where I'm going with my life.
Where are you going with your life?
Well, I'm really excited about 2022.
Okay.
I'm excited about what God is going to do, I think, in my community and
what God will do in 2022.
Yeah, what God will do in 2022. Yeah, I just have a sense of anticipation. I don't have any vision of what's gonna happen. I just feel like God's gonna do some good stuff, and I'm excited to be part of that. That's really where I'm at.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, on the resolutions, I'm always making resolutions. I try to hold on to the ones that I've been making for a long time. When it comes to exercise or diet or anything like that, you just go through a cycle and you're like, okay, I gotta stick to this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I feel like it gets harder to be physically active the colder it gets.
Oh, totally.
Right. So you kind of have that against you in the wet and rainy.
Yeah.
You don't want to get up in the morning and work out or run or take a walk when it's 30 degrees.
But then when it's really hot.
I don't mind that.
You don't mind that?
No, I don't mind sweating.
I do. There's this spring and fall are strong for me.
You're looking for the pleasant weather.
Yeah.
As long as I could be outside and not my bones aren't hurting.
Yeah.
So that's, so I don't have any great epiphany. I think I really am excited about God this year and what he's going to do and my community. And
it's a good answer.
Yeah. I don't really think, I think what I did learn about the podcast being a month away is that it does have a consistent audience. And so people are still listening to the podcast.
Nice.
And even though we're not doing new ones, and also that I think, there are people out here listening and I'm excited about them.
Yeah.
So I think that was, an encouraging thing. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I similarly, actually, despite all my potential grumpiness here. I really am. I am excited about the prospect of being in better shape. It's just day one of bran. You just all have to just understand. This is my first day
one of bran,
of eating bran. So give me a few days. I'll be back and cheery. But no, that I actually am. I am excited about that. It feels good it's felt good throughout the month of December to be making some moves there. And then when it comes to church world, I also feel, just very resolute and nothing really new about what our church is doing, but we're going into kind of looking back at what we've been doing, how that continues to be something we believe in, that is necessary, and some of the foundational Christian beliefs that we believe answer deep questions our world is asking. So we're pressing into that this year, and we're not just doing it because we planned it. I am genuinely behind all of that and feeling similarly excited. I feel like we are poised to be the church in our community, and I think that God is evidently at work. And I think some of the difficult things, I don't know. You look back at the past couple of years, and I mean, for me, I go, hey, look, like we made it through that. That was really crazy. I don't know what the future holds, but but here we are, and we are seeing some good things and some good work. And shoot, why would we slow down now? I mean, let's go. Let's do this. So, and feeling like God has been faithful through it all, recognizing that and saying, okay, yeah, it was one of the tougher seasons I've ever tried to lead through and lived through, and we're good. We're here. God's faithful.
Yeah.
I say that, and then I think, I know there are people that are like, I don't feel that way. And so, but that's where I am.
That's where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the faithfulness of God and the fact that he truly does enjoy us, and yes, God has a sovereign plan, but God is not sitting around trying to just fit pieces into a sovereign plan to make sure that they play their part, as much as God just really enjoys his creation.
Mm-hmm.
And he has created it well, even in its brokenness, and there's a beauty to all of that, to being part of this dance that God has invited us into through his Son. And I'm excited about that. I mean, even, I expect that hard things will happen and sad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think
they will. Yeah.
It's good to be with Jesus, and I'm excited about leading in that process and engaging in that process. So,
any specifics on what that's going to look like at the Village that you're imagining or already have planned, or
the Village has things planned. I honestly think that the best way to say it is, I think we're in a wait and kind of see, in the sense of God's going to do stuff, and certainly there are structures with which we've built to worship God and engage in relationship and that kind of thing. But I think just really having a sense of anticipation in all of the different things that we do, and really trying to stay centered on Jesus and centered on his Spirit, I think is where we're headed. I mean, when it comes to sermons, which I think that drives part of who you are as a community, especially in our kinds of communities. We're going right now through encounters with Jesus. So just different moments in Mark that are significant.
Oh, cool.
And then over Lent, we're doing grief and gratitude, kind of playing off of something Dan Allender did on his podcast, to try to talk through the tension of gratitude and grief, and how we engage in both thankfulness for the grace that God has poured out on us, and also grieve the brokenness and the pain and the things that are happening and have happened to us. So, and we're going to do the fruits of the Spirit, and we're going to do 8 weeks in Romans. So those things are really exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. But and to see what God does with that, because he always does things that I don't expect.
Yeah.
But I just think I think God really wants to loosen the bonds of people and of us, me, you. And the more willing we are to lean into that, the more exciting things get.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of where I'm at. Is I don't know if there's a specific to that other than to the way I posture myself, in the sense of the way I prepare to experience the Spirit of God.
Mm-hmm.
So
How do you do that?
I think that some of that has to do with the defenses, like how much of this in my life do I believe that I'm in control of, and how much do I want to just turn over to God and, let him actually hold on to it, if that makes any sense. I think a lot of times, especially as someone who has a more reformed background, I tend to want to have a lot of boundaries on everything and have thought through a lot. And I think, which is good, but I think there's what that does is sometimes it doesn't allow me to just be like, okay, Spirit, what are you doing? And be in the moment. Sometimes I'm overthinking things. So not having as much overthinking is part of what that is, I think.
Yeah.
And also just believing that the miraculous, which is a sign of heaven and the kingdom of coming, is available to us. And so looking for the miraculous in the reality that we are in, and then expecting it to burst forward in some more spectacular ways.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just hopeful in those things. Maybe I'll be able to give you a report as we go over the years to how I've seen that. One of the things that I'm doing is every Sunday, and during the week too, but in particular Sunday as a review, just writing down for the week all the things that I've seen God do.
Oh, cool.
So then I can go back and say, yeah, this is what God did in January, and he did it here, here, and here, and this was the spectacular thing that happened. One of the things I realized in just thinking over 2021 was, I'm like, what happened in January? I mean, I do a lot of journaling, but it wasn't really recording the miraculous works of God in a way that I could document it easily.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to have something that said, hey, this is January. Do you remember this is what God did? And be able to reflect on it. And really, I think the effect of 2020 and 2021 and the pandemic and everything is that I'm not even sure those 2 years existed.
Oh, they did.
And because it's just a blur in my head, right?
Yeah,
They're just so, I can't pinpoint any point in time. It's very hard.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I like that idea of capturing the things that God has done. That's inspiring. I have to think about that, because I similarly forget those things. I've heard it said that just neurologically we remember negative events very easily. We think at least a lot of details about them, and then all the good. I mean, there could be 500 times more good stuff, but those negative things just stand out and eat us alive.
Right.
And I see that in my life. It's very easy. You've got the person who's unhappy at church, and that's the one voice you hear when there's 80 that are like, no, it's great. And not even that they're not saying it enough. It's they can say it. You just hear negativity loud, and the same would be true, and same would be true about the state of the world or whatever. Just the negativity is loud. And so to capture the good things God is doing, it's good.
Just on the thing that you were saying, if I say something negative to you, it only takes you 4 seconds to assimilate it.
Sure.
If I say, like, Andy, like, that was a great sermon, it takes you 90 seconds to assimilate that.
Yeah.
And so we don't take the 90 seconds to hear a compliment and let it, infiltrate us. But we don't have to take any time to hear an insult. It's just our brain immediately assimilates it. So
a new practice could be 2-minute compliments.
Yeah. Well, I know Kurt Thompson, and he's the psychiatrist I follow a lot and read his books, but he says
that's my mechanic.
Yeah.
Or one of just to throw that out there.
He's also your mechanic?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, all right. But he says, like, if somebody compliments you, you should say, let me just take a second to assimilate that.
Yeah.
And just
Here, would you sit down with me and say it again, please?
And I just need to let that go. Okay. 90 seconds are done. All right. I got the compliment.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. A minute
be a very
and a half
uncomfortable
really
90
long.
seconds.
Yeah, it would be.
My goodness.
It would be.
Yeah. Compliments are so uncomfortable. Why is that?
They're exposing to make us feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right? When I insult you, you immediately form a wall and plan a defense and an attack. What am I supposed to do with a compliment?
Yeah, just like go like,
oh,
no, tell me more. No, it's like you love it's the weird thing where it means the world, and then at the same time you're like, it's just so hard to know what to do with it. I used to kind of squirm, and now I try to just thank people. I'm just like, thank you, and then even that feels weird. I'm like, was that or should I just like hug them, be like, hey, hold on, like, tell me more.
While I'm hugging you.
Yeah.
This is awkward.
Yeah. Why are our faces so close? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely, I mean, I think being able to say thank you for that is pretty powerful, actually.
That's been a change for me, honestly. Like, rather than just being, I used to maybe like subtly diminish it and just go, oh, there's like the hyper Christian version. Oh, thanks be to God,
Right.
Great sermon. Oh, it's the Lord, and like,
right.
Well, how about you? And I'm saying this to myself. How about you, like, appreciate that they said that you did a good job? So I try to just look at them, thank them, try to feel it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you do in that? What do you do in that situation? I come up to you and say, Eric, man, that was amazing.
Yeah, so I also say thank you.
Yeah.
I try to just enjoy it. It's hard, but I've gotten a little bit better at it. I think sometimes this person, is this going to change them? Like, are they saying that however I've impacted them is really a long-term change in how they are going to interact with me or think about me? Or, I mean, it comes about me, or can I trust this person?
There's a cynicism in us, huh? We've been burned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that it's interesting. I think I was trying to think of this definition of faith, that it's belief on the far side, or it's trust on the far side of knowing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can know a lot about you, and I can observe you, and I can even have conversations, and it's knowledge. But at some point, you're going to reveal something to me that I couldn't have known just by observing you and studying you and asking you a bunch of questions. Like, you're going to reveal a bit of you. And at that point, I have to trust you or not trust you. And that's faith. And I mean, that's how we engage with God. But when somebody compliments me, that is not something I can pull out of people. I mean, I could try, but it doesn't work. When you genuinely offer something to me, I have to trust you. And so there's this, like, do I trust you that you're actually saying this because that's something that's good that you've experienced, or you want me to, I don't know, like, what do you want from me, or what is it that you're, so.
Man, yeah.
It's a lot happening in that
lot.
space there.
Do you think, so I remember listening to a TED Talk, or actually this comes up It was Brene Brown's talk we talked about a long time ago that was on Netflix. By the way, we had a whole list of things we still haven't talked about. We said we were going to, huh?
Yeah.
But these people will talk about getting criticism for their work and they'll say things like, just don't read the comments or don't let the haters tell you who you are or whatever, right?
Right.
And so you give your TED Talk, a bunch of people tell you it's awesome. Some people tell you it's the stupidest thing they've ever heard. And it seems like, okay, what's the difference between that and what we experience?
You mean somebody putting comments?
Well, I mean, I think some of them are in person, some of them are, but just let's go with in-person comments for the sake of the parallel.
You give your TED Talk, and they come up and they say that was the best thing ever.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you think they have the same tension with that a pastor does? Why and why not?
Well, I think a little bit yes and a little bit no. I mean, like if someone who's been going to my church for a while is my friend and I care deeply about, and they're like, hey, that was really good. I really enjoy that. And you did a good job. Like, that's a different thing I have to process than
yes.
I go to your church. I don't know anybody. I go preach and
yes.
people come up to me and they're like, man, that is so good.
You are so much better than our pastor.
So much better than Andy. I think, I mean, disregarding them saying better than Andy, just that was really good. I think they're something I said connected with them and it meant a lot to them. But, I don't think it's then they want to offer something good to me. It's not maybe necessarily the same, but I still have to receive it as I have an impact on people. Yeah. So, but then the negative one that comes, if somebody then tells you like, please don't ever have Eric preach again. I don't know what he was doing up there. I didn't understand him. Uh-huh. And then you can said, hey, like there are some people who really didn't get what you were saying. Well, then you have that sinking feeling. It's instantly like defeated.
Uh-huh.
So it can play with your emotions. Maybe somebody who knows me at the Village better, it's not going to say it that way. They may come up and be like, hey, do you think I could talk about the sermon with you sometime? I'm confused about a few things or whatever.
Sure.
I think that would still make me like, oh no, what did I say? What did I do? But
it feels, no.
So I don't know what I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, I'm just curious. I had never thought about this before. This is the beauty of Faith Over Breakfast.
Yeah,
we're you're just drinking some water, and we're just talking.
Yeah,
because since we're not eating breakfast.
Yeah,
but no, I've never really thought about this before. But the
bran muffins.
Oh man, I gotta get a bran muffin. Yeah, that'll help. Just bran cereal.
Bran muffins over breakfast.
Whatever, that'll work. It'll work.
Didn't go sideways.
The other thing that comes to mind as you're saying all that is it's hard when you're in deep relationship or deepening relationship with the person who says it to you, because on the one hand, that's amazing. That's what you would hope for, right? That somebody who actually kind of knows you also sees what you offer and appreciates it. That's great. But then to what you were saying earlier, when we really know each other, we know how much more is going on. We know, perhaps how little has changed or we might not trust that this positivity will last because of other relationships we had that were once positive that changed or whatever. If you meet the TED Talk person, you're only going to see them once in their life. They come up to you, changed my life.
Right.
That's like a little shot of dopamine, feels okay, but it's not as powerful or as confusing as the person you're going to actually walk with, because there's just so much more at stake, potentially. And I don't know. I think that's just probably it's like hearing something from family too, or whatever. Like there's just different levels of weight and different levels of maybe a mild fear that it's not going to pan out actually, that you're going to hear this now and you won't hear it later. I don't know. I think I deal with all that.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of intertwined turmoil that goes on
Yeah.
when you have a public persona of any kind. But I think that's probably true for anybody.
Well, I'm saying the public persona where you're actually in a community regularly.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a different set of complications when everyone thinks they know you and they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's easier. It's just different. Yeah.
Yeah. How we take compliments. It's a big deal.
Uh-huh. I'd like to be better at it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
And criticism.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something pretty powerful when you're able to give good criticism and good compliments.
Both.
Yeah. Like when you're able to say like, yeah, you do well at this, but this particular thing you might need to work on. Or
so what makes to you as a pastor, what type of person can give you both of those? Like what elements are there when someone can offer both of those to you? Because I'm sure you do have those people. I mean, I bet Rod is that way.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's other leaders, longtime leaders here in the church who have given you both. What makes them able to do that effectively while others are not?
Well, I think I have a different thought on critiquing, in that I don't think, I think a lot of times the best critique comes when you live in a vulnerable community, so it has a fluidity to it. It's not a critique of, oh, last week's Sunday sermon really bombed and I could give you a few hints at that, or you seem to need some help here. It's when there's a vulnerability and I'm vulnerable and others are in tight-knit community. Like the criticism can move back and forth in gentle ways without there being this is the time that we're going to help Andy, or I'm going to pour into Andy's life. It's like, it's being able to just really say, hey, like, you seemed a little off on Sunday. What was happening there? Or what you said to so-and-so, it seemed like it really hurt them. You want to talk about that a little bit? But that's fluid. It's not a special time where you're going to tell me these things, or I'm going to have a job review or anything like that. Is more helpful to me than like I need to sit down and analyze everything that you're doing and tell you what's good and bad about it in some session somewhere. I think it's just the fluidity in community of peers, actually, for me at the Village, is very helpful.
Are there some people that, I mean, is there a level of commitment to which when you feel like you saying this actually has more impact than if? Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the people who look at my burdens and they're like, let me carry your burdens, and oh, by the way, let me help you think through how you might carry them a little better too. Right. And like that we're doing this together, and I value it as much as you do or more.
And when it feels more like somebody's just on the sidelines going, nah, I don't like that, it's not as powerful, helpful.
Right. If there's a demand for me to get it right, or to have the right theology or whatever, for other people to be around and engage in community, then that's hard, because you're saying, well, you have to get it right to be loved. You have to get it right to be cared for. Yeah. And it's like, well, that's not going to happen. Yeah. Or we have to agree on everything. Right. And that's.
Yeah. Like, when has that ever occurred?
Yeah. I mean, I think the idea of iron sharpening iron is that there are two irons, and those irons are used for the same purpose. Right. So they're being sharpened by the very fact that they're working together and moving in the same direction. So I don't know. It's a fluidity. Yeah. Certainly there are times, I suspect, in life of community and business and in families where you do have to have the sit down, like,
yeah, no doubt.
Like, look, you're just kind of slacking here, and we need to figure out why that is. Right. But hopefully that's with people who love you, right. Where you can be like, I don't like this, but These people love me, so I need to listen.
I don't doubt your love for me and your commitment to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think the nice part about being a smaller community or a church that has a little bit more organic feel to it is that you can have more fluidity, and people inside and outside of leadership, if they're committed to the vision, can have those words of encouragement and words of redirection, and you can trust them because they're committed to this vision together. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it.
There you go. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I don't have any other thoughts.
Yeah, I think that was the big one. There we go. We found it. We found the big one. So
cool.
Just a reminder to everybody, we do love to hear your ideas. We have an email address, faithoverbreakfast@gmail.com. You can send us your ideas. And are we still giving books off our shelf?
We are.
We can. Yeah.
No, I think this is one of the most effective things in our Faith Over Breakfast time is when you ask us questions, we like answering them, and we'll send you a book that we think might be helpful to you.
Yep.
I mean, if we have a book that fits into your question, we'll try to send that to you.
Oh, right.
Otherwise, you might just get some random book.
So. Yeah, or some book you already have.
Yeah. But yes, please send us a question. We'll send you a book.
There you go. So faithoverbreakfast@gmail.com. If you like our ramblings, you can also give us a 5-star rating. That is really helpful to us.
Yes.
And that makes our podcast
are good.
Be more discoverable.
Yes.
So we appreciate that too. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.